Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Oh, how are you guys? Okay, this is going to be kind of a messy episode with a little bit of petty, but let's see. Basically, this episode is going to be dealing with what is the definition of masculinity? What is the definition of femininity? Yeah, but it's because it's really getting annoying how on dating apps, I keep seeing from other genders that they are trying to take control or they are trying to tell society how we are supposed to act based off of their opinion. And I repeat, their opinion. And also based off of the society norms when, okay, if a man wants to wear like nail polish, do you, boo? And some men are better at makeup. It's like I just saw a drag queen on social media earlier tonight, and oh, it was giving. It was slay. I was just like, oh my, because I didn't know. It's like she, or I don't know if he or she, I don't know what they go by, which pronouns, but when she went to he, I didn't know like that it was a man. It's like, I mean, because even that, like, when I just saw, ooh, those eyebrows are nice and arched and everything, and I'm like, oh, okay, okay, because like once they took off the wig and then took off, like I was just like, oh. Oh, okay. It's like, but part of me, like by the end of the video, I'm just like, I want you to teach me how you do your makeup. That was like the only thing I got out of it. And it's like, I have met and seen some very attractive men that wear nail polish and they are straight. And some men are like, oh, it's like men don't wear, like, they remember DeSantis wears heels. And heels were originally made for men, especially those shorter men, so they can appear taller for dominance and things like that. Yeah, do your research, do your research. But to me, it's like we created the definition of who wears what. We as people did. We as people did. And all around the world, throughout history, the laws and things have evolved with what men wear, what women wear, and in different cultures, it's like what they do, and then colonization, and then, yeah, just blah, 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 blah. But it's just really crazy how on just social media as a whole, but especially dating apps, I keep seeing people say, oh, well, since when have men not been masculine anymore? Because there was this one gentleman at an award show and he was slaying and he had like a beautiful black veil covering part of his face, and the lady called it a hair net or hair, yeah, it's like a hair net or whatever. And he was like, a veil? And she was like, oh yeah, my bad or whatever. And they talked and stuff, and his outfit was, I was like, okay, I like your outfit. I don't know what he starred in. I've never heard of him, but it's like I liked his personality, and it's like he helped carry the conversation and things. So I'm like, okay, I might check out what you do. Okay, but there was this very awful, ignorant, arrogant. You know what? I'm gonna say her because she'll never listen to this episode, and I'm probably not gonna screenshot it because I already have enough screenshots for you guys on so many other different topics. But oh, her name is Jessica Jones, and yeah, she's a pretty terrible, awful person, and it's like she was just like, why don't men be masculine anymore? And to me, I'm like, yes, I use like, but this time is actually on purpose because Do you want him to act like the men you date or the men you desire? Are only the men you desire masculine? Can another woman be interested in a male that is more creative with what he wears, or he's willing to escape the boundaries of the restrictions that our society has forced upon men and or women when it comes to dress? Can we express ourselves in the way that we want? Because I remember the Try Guys a year or two ago, they decided we're gonna wear dresses, and it was kind of a corny episode. Like, to me, I'm just like, okay, you guys could have maybe done a better job, because I don't know, part of me would have, instead, I mean, they walked around, and but I would have just been like, okay, you guys can, like, I would have like created like an obstacle course so they can kind of see like what women have to go through, like while wearing the dresses and the heels and things like that. I think they had to wear heels too. They had like kind of a what women go through journey. Oh, and that ignorant Jessica Jones, she wrote me again, like, and part of me is just like, okay, this time the like wasn't, but anyway, it's this all started because she decided to say that this man was not masculine enough. And now she's saying men are not masculine enough anymore. But then I keep thinking about with Shakespeare, back in those days, no women could be on stage, no women could act. So the men played the women's roles. And so I don't know if they really kissed or anything with those scenes or whatever, but it's like Romeo and Juliet, Othello, and a lot of these other like tragedies and things like that. Ta-da, they kissed. Ta-da, they wore dresses. And with theater and I mean, there's even rumors with some of the authors and famous people from our past who might have been in the LGBTQ, and even some of our legends of music artists and things like that. And especially since it was more, it wasn't accepting to explore and look outside of the expectation tunnel that we're stuck in right now. So a lot of men and women, they were stuck having to wear the traditional wear. They were stuck having to play the role, especially in the 50s, having to be that proper little housewife. But some of them might have wanted to work. And I know depression was at the highest for women in the 50s because they don't want to stay at home. And oh yeah, a lot of them smoked the Mary Jane, the 420. It's like a lot of them, they were with it back then because, I mean, it helped them escape. Because a lot of them was like, oh, okay, have to do their laundry, cook their dinner, clean the house, and look really pretty in it. Like, oh. But now on dating apps, you do not know how many men, like, in their profiles. I used to not take the screenshots of their profiles. I used to only do the messages. And yes, it's taking over my phone. So I did start deleting some pictures. Like, because oh yeah, okay, I'm saying like too many times right now in a row. I'm working on it. It's slowly but steady. But it's just really annoying and crazy with all of the times I've seen on dating apps, men saying how women are supposed to behave, how we are supposed to act, that they only want women that dress right, dress proper. And sometimes it's after I match with a guy and then he said, yeah, I matched with you because you look like you're feminine enough, or it looks like you have femininity, or oh, you don't have kids yet, but the I'm trying to think of a clean way to say so, like, because some of them, especially since I don't have kids yet, the things they say, and or they, like, especially once I turned them down in that, because if that's the only reason you wrote me, especially when a lot of men keep telling me that they know how to tame their baby mothers like they're a collections item, and but then they say they will not date a a woman that already has a child because he's not dealing with no other man, but it's okay for him to have baby mamas. He can have as many as he wants, but the woman, she can't have any, just him. But then that just shows his insecurities and his power and his dominance or craving for dominance. And oh, some of these are Christian, most of these are Christian men. Most of these are Christian men too. Yeah, and some people judge me because I've decided never to get married. But yeah, yeah, looking at the options, and also right now I'm still trying to get my businesses together. It's like, yeah, look at my YouTube channel. Yeah, I try to hire someone on Fiverr. They lied to me, deceived me, messed up my whole channel. So it's mostly like a diary now. It's mostly like a diary now. But I have over 350 episodes, so I'm not gonna quit because I do enjoy it and like it. Because as someone who is black, someone with a disability, someone who is a woman, the way that I live life and the way that I go through humanity and have to deal with humanity is unique and different, that most people don't deal with, or they don't witness some of the things that I have had to be stuck with. And I wasn't diagnosed with my disability, even though as a parent, doctor said I was a liar or I was making it up and I just wanted attention. But then, yeah, once I got those test results, yeah, I don't know, it's just crazy because a lot of the things that I've witnessed, and even dating wise, men would tell me that I would have to date them because since I walk like this, I can't choose the guy because the guy I choose is not going to want me. And do you know how many times a man told me that I had to date him? I had to date him because no one else is going to want me. And with Mr. Lakaki, he blackmailed me with his life. But yeah, there was a guy right before him. There was a black guy that I met at some fake friend's 30th birthday party. And I remember when I got to the party, because I went there to support and help out, because long story short, they were raising money and they were spending money on this party, but then they spent more than they planned and they didn't want to admit it, but then they didn't know that the other one was already like blah blah blah. It's a long story. But I was trying to have their back to fill up the place because they said not enough people were going to be there because you still had to pay to, yeah, anyway. But some of the people that they were able to invite or get to the party, there was this one tall black guy. I think he thought just because he was tall and I mean he was okay looking, but he wasn't my type. But I think he thought that he was every woman's type, so he just kept telling me that I was gonna regret not talking to him, and he would not quit. He would not stop, and I'm just like, why doesn't he leave me alone? And at the end of the day, I'll tell the whole story of that a different time, but I remember I took his number because he would not, and I repeat, he would not stop until I took his number. And he told me that I had to call him right then. Because at first I'm like, okay, if I just take his number and I never have to call him. But after that, I think one of his friends even did it. I was like, you stupid fool, I had a plan. I was like, what are you like? You are messing up what I'm doing. But anyway, yeah, so then he said I had to call him. And yeah, the conversations were bad. And then he kept telling me that I had to hang out with him or get a motel room and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, well, you got something hiding or whatever. Yeah, I think he has 2 or 3 kids by 2 women. Yeah. Yeah, and he made sure not to tell me that until I figured it out. Because I remember even asking him that night if he was in relations or if he had a relationship or when was his last relationship and if he had kids. And he was like, no, you don't have to worry about that. And it's like, uh, you just need to answer the question. So, okay, ladies, gentlemen, if someone says you don't have to worry about that, worry about that. Ask it in a different way, in different terms. And or if you're at the bar or somewhere where you're having alcoholic drinks, wait until that third or fourth drink. Wait until that third or fourth drink. Ask it again because then they're going to get looser. But oh yeah, if you're not interested in them, is try, like, if you're out by yourself, try to escape the situation because I was at my friend's birthday and I didn't drive myself because it's like I was told, oh, carpool with this person. Don't worry, we're going to drive you back. But I already told part of the story of what happened when my fake friend all of a sudden, oh, her cool cousin and so and so and so and so and so and so, they came, but now they can't drive. I forgot why. But now they had to be in her vehicle, so that meant I don't have a ride. So then she put me with that terrible, awful, like just dehumanizing person who I think when I did promotional modeling, I helped her work a job with me. And with one of the jobs, we were supposed to like rent a car. And I told her, okay, I'll run it. And it's like, you just pay me back for half the car. And she said she had no problem with that. Then it was time for her to pay me half the money, and she told me, I don't pay to work. So she tricked me, and she made me pay for the full rental of the vehicle, which meant that I hardly got, like, she got to keep her whole paycheck, and I had to pay for the rental vehicle. Yeah, make that make sense. Yeah, so this is one of her friends. And the thing is, I helped her find the job because that was one of her friends. And my fake friend was telling me that she was on hard times and she really needed support and she really needed something to help take care of her daughter. And so I was like, okay, you know what? I got your back. I will help you get the job. And then I did get her the job. But now I'm just like, you know what? It's like, and this is I kept doing that, like with dating and anything else. Whenever someone needed me, I busted my tush off because I know how it feels to not have any backing. I didn't, I didn't have the backing at home those years ago. Now that I'm diagnosed with my disability, yes, like people, like they'll at least listen. Yes, I know I caught it. But anyway, it's just things change once the family member who said I was lying all my life passes away, and then I get diagnosed, and everyone finds out, oh, you really do have a disability. You weren't lying all of those years. I thought you were making it up. I just thought you wanted attention. Oh, I just thought since your twin sister's so perfect and you were jealous, I thought that's why you walked like that because you were desperate. No, ta-da, I literally have a disability. And so when it comes to the fake friends and disability and everything like that, it's like, yeah, I try to help people because a lot of people didn't help me. A lot of people never had my back. A lot of people didn't support me. So many people thought I was a liar and everything. Or some people even thought that the only reason I was helping them was because I wanted attention. It's just like, mm, I go to church and it says that, like, to be like, yeah, no, I keep saying like. Anyway. And I was like, I kind of feel like I've been doing a little better, but with this episode, I'm just, it still irks me. And it's annoying how a lot of men will force themselves on you. Like, even if you're not interested, they would try so many different times. And you can say whatever you want. Men don't care. Men don't care. And maybe women too. I don't know, because I know when I worked at a bar in Sterling Heights, a lot of people called it Sterling Whites. And my boss there, he tricked me. He would literally have men come up to me, or my boss would tell me that a guy was interested in me, and he would tell me to go and get the person's number. And the thing was, no, he was lying because he was trying to get me fired from my internship there, because the his boss, or the owner of the restaurant, liked a lot of my ideas. And I found this out after I got, like, because they thought I was lying. But then turn around, yeah, he's on the run because he was doing illegal things with some of the waitresses. Yeah, karma, karma. But yeah, so when it comes to dating nightmares, I've been, yeah, I've I've witnessed quite a lot. And one spectrum where that guy would not leave me alone, to my boss making me look like I was just determined to not, because it was to a point where a guy, even because after, like, I caught on, because I was like, okay, I've he keeps telling me these guys like me when they don't like me, so he's doing this on purpose. So then I would try to avoid them at all costs. But then he decided, oh, I'm gonna have my friends come up to her and get her number, because then and it's like, there's one guy who he was like, no, but I really do like you. It's nothing to do with him. It's like, I want, it's like, and he said, and my boss had my number anyway. So next thing I know, my boss would give him my number because I thought it was still a trap. Then the guy would call me. But so then it's like, I was like, how did he even get my number? But then he would say it was at one of the girls at the bar, which I was friends with. And, but yeah, I'll tell that story, the full story. But it's really crazy how when I work my tush off. And a lot of people don't like that. And he literally got me to a point where it's like I was scared to go to work. I was scared to go to work because, like, some guys would be like, oh my gosh, you're so beautiful, you're so pretty. And I was like, oh, it's a trap, it's a trick. But then other times, like, oh yeah, how are you guys doing? It's like at a table, but then, well, I would say his name, but I'll just call him Steak. I'll call him Steak. Steak would go up to tables and tell them very degrading, awful things about me without, and I didn't know. So, and part of my job was to check on tables, talk to people, see how things were going, if there were any situations going on, trying to resolve them, including racism. Yeah, that's why I made sure to tell you guys about the Sterling White's nickname. You do not know how many situations that I've witnessed where the waitresses were awful to the African American customers, and how some of the waitresses were like, oh, I got a table with black people, they're not going to tip. And I'm standing right there. And I would even say, "Excuse me." And I just remember they're like, "Oh, you're an intern." It's like if you say anything, I'll just say you're lying. And I then I learned like some of the waitresses were best friends with Steak, and Steak would tell them, "Oh yeah, so you can say whatever you want in front of her because we'll just turn around and tell the boss that she's a liar, she's lying." And that's what like whenever there was a situation, especially like with racism, it's like they just made me, since I was the only black person that worked there, they made me look like the liar because like, well, not everybody, because there were a few cool people where I'm like, okay, these are the only people I can trust, these are the only people I can talk to. But then one by one they were quitting. I'm like, no, I need somebody. But yeah, this was one of the bars where the girls will dress very provocatively. It was kind of like a Hooters wannabe in a way. They and there's more than one location. They had to close the location I was at. It's like I think about 5 years after I was gone, they had to shut it down. But yeah, let's just say I learned a lot about femininity at that location, and a lot of men who would tell me that black women are not feminine enough. Yeah, you thought I was going to be off topic, didn't you? But yeah, a lot of men would degrade me or even say how black women weren't feminine enough, or you know what, yeah, I'll say, because it gets pretty racist. And that's one reason why when some people say, why do you guys still talk about racism? Because we have to face racism on a daily basis. You think we want to? You think we want to treat this like a hobby? We don't. We're exhausted. This is exhausting when you guys want to label us, characterize us, torment us, put us down because we were born with more seasoning, but then you don't want our culture, but you want to steal our ideas. Ugh. It's like you say we're not feminine enough, but then when it comes to clipping hairs, you started that, and then edges, and there's even with even body shapers, it's like, and then you want to add artificial tushies to your body and all different types of things so that you will get what a lot of black women naturally have. And then clothing, want to steal a lot of those ideas. Because especially a lot of men, a lot of the industry, a lot of capitalism targets like very high femininity, like with the curves, the looks, the appearance, the makeup. But then a lot of men pretend they want the natural look. That's a whole series by itself too. Because it's funny how men say they want natural women, but yeah, they'll marry a natural woman, but they'll cheat on you because they want you to be natural so that they don't have to be scared that that you're gonna cheat on them. Because I feel this is just a guess, but I told you guys about my ex-boyfriend. But the more that I'm thinking about it, especially when I was thinking about how whenever a guy hit on me, he would ignore me. He would punish me because a guy recognized me. And so then I started wearing less and less makeup. I stopped looking as feminine as he wanted because he wanted to make sure that no one else would pay me any attention at all. But then when women would call him and he would need to step outside, yeah, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to need a part two. But thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.